Hi there guys, Gary here for GenVFX. Welcome to this little video section. I don't normally do this kind of thing. I don't believe I have anything other than a face for radio, so hopefully I can get past that, or at least you can. Please, if your monitor cracks, don't send me the bills. I can't help this. I was born this way. Well, I was actually born, I probably looked prettier when I was born. I'm drifting. I know I'm doing this, stop it. I just wanted today to talk to you about something that's been going on in my life recently. Don't worry, it's nothing terrible. I make it sound fatal. It's not at all. In fact, if anything, it's wonderful. I've had the greatest of fortune, and I haven't mentioned it in a few tutorials, over the last 4 weeks I've been using a loan machine from Lenovo. It is the Lenovo P620 Workstation, and it is probably, no, it definitely is the nicest bit of kit I've had the utter joy to use. There are several reasons why. One of them is exactly what is inside of that machine. The CPU is great, the RAM is unbelievable, and the GPU is also great. And the actual build and how the entire speed of the machine runs is fabulous. Let's talk first of all about the CPU. The CPU is an AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 5995WX, 64 cores of utter joy. It's fabulous. To balance that, there's also 256 gigabytes of RAM, because you're probably going to need it if you're like me. And then the icing on the cake is there's an NVidia RTX A600N graphics card, which is kind of like just up there, absolutely up there. And I cannot tell you enough how wonderful this machine is. Granted, I'm basing it on an Intel Xeon 5 chip with a GeForce 1070 Ti graphics card from NVIDIA. So there's no comparison. This machine is better. But why is it so much better? Because it's fast and because it's stable. It's actually a very, very nice machine to look at. Obviously, it's still a workstation, so it's going to have that kind of like workstation finishedness to it. But the back's nice and clear. You can see all the ports really nicely. It's dark under my desk. I normally have a light when I'm putting things together, and I've been moving one machine out and one machine in. And the speed that I can do that is actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be, because it's so easy to see, oh, that's where the display port goes, and that's where this goes. And it's just a really nice, clean finish on the front and on the back. And of course, it's got standard card slots at the front. But genuinely, when it comes to actually doing work, it's fabulous. I tried to kind of hit the limit with it to see how fast it could go and what it could cope with. So I basically run it with Cinebenched. I played a game where the frame rate knocked off, so it's limitless. I have also done about 4 or 5 tasks all at the same time. The thing just flew. And very importantly, I've been doing work with it as well. And that's where it's really proved to be, obviously, for me, just unbelievable. I've been rendering high detailed, GI-laden, reflection-laden icons for a company. And on my machine, it was taking about 25 minutes for a single frame, which if you're doing a single still work, that's fine. But exactly the same thing using the chip, basically the Threadripper, it actually cut through like a hot knife through butter. And my 25 minutes went down to 4 minutes 23, which is fantastic. I then thought, well, that's okay. Let's try it with the A6000. Obviously, it's not the standard card in there, but it's great. And that took 1 minute and 8 seconds. What? 1 minute and 8 seconds. It was just, wow, the CPU basically and the GPU being that close together in terms of timing just shows how powerful that CPU actually is that's in the machines. You can do loads with it, absolutely loads with it. So when I was playing Subnautica on it, because yes, I love Subnautica, scares me, but I like it. It's just too deep. It's too deep. Go down deep in a seam off and I'm like, got to get out of here. But the limiting on the game is 144 frames per second. You can turn it off, obviously. So I stuck on all the whistles and bells and made all the detail level as high as possible. Turn the limiter off from 144, set up to 500. And I didn't reach 500 frames per second because I don't know what machine could do that. However, I did get to 284 frames per second. 284 frames per second is fabulous. Just incredible. And the quality of it, it didn't slow down, it didn't stick, and the machine barely ticked over. I then went on to do a Cinebenched, which is a free download, which means you can basically compare your machines to other machines on the market. And there was already a similar, when you plug it and run it, it kind of tells you, okay, this is a similar machine to yours. The score that it came back with is, and the similar machine to this one was, checking on the core, it was a 32-core AMD Ryzen Threadripper, and it was a 2990, and it scored 30,054, and that's a really good score. And then this one came in and didn't double it. It over doubled it to 62,870. And I was just, I mean, you can't equate it. You can't calculate it, because it's such, when the numbers are that big, you start to lose all scope of how important and how wonderful the machine is. So in terms of how do I feel about this machine, I love it. I absolutely love it. I just want to be certain in expressing again that they haven't asked me to do this. They haven't paid me to do this. I just love the machine, and I just thought I had to crow about it a bit. Well, here's the thing. If you work in a small office and you have a lot of rendering to do all of a sudden, a machine like this is going to save your life. With the 64 cores, it's like having like a little render farm all of its own in the corner. 2 of these, which will cost you a lot of money, would basically save your life on more than one occasion.
Metaphorically speaking.
And I think on the grand scheme of things, if you've got something which can do a job that well, and it's in your office, and you're not remoting across the other side of the world, even though the world is still a lot faster than it used to be, I think it's an absolute necessity to have some machines like this in your animation or 3D pipeline. There's got to be some good machine that you can render on that's fast and reliable. I rendered a sequence of 125 frames that normally would take me most of the evening. It did them in 1 hour and 40 minutes, and this is on top-notch quality. If I just wanted to see what it looked like on a lower res finish, I could have had them done in 10 minutes, and I could have been able to establish the lighting is right, the shading is right. Okay, the quality is dog, but I can bring that back up and render it in 1 hour and 55 minutes and have the finished 5 seconds. That's there. Brilliant. Couldn't fault it. But if you're not doing rendering, or you're not doing 3D, or you're not working on that sort of stuff like CAD or whatever, there's another reason why you should buy this machine. And that is, if you have an office where you probably require 10 to 15 people to remote in and work on stuff, you can set one of these machines up, and what you're able to do is run a bunch of VMs. So if you've got standard work that doesn't use up too much RAM, that needs to be done, say, whether it's Photoshop work or a bit of Illustrator work, and then somebody else is doing accountancy work and someone else is doing presentation work, there is no reason why you could not set all of these up as VMs and have everyone working from one box. So one machine could easily, in a reasonably good office, say 10 people, you'd be basically, the price that you would pay for that is less than it would be for 10 remote workstations. And that is genius. It's a great machine. I absolutely love it. My honest opinion is, I can't imagine how upset I'm going to be when I have to go back to my Z620, which is not going to be long. I will be fine. I think I'll be buying a new machine before long at this rate. But listen, that's it really. Just wanted to say the Lenovo P620 is a fantastic box. It's a great piece of kit, and I absolutely love it. That's it. Thank you, Lenovo, for letting me have some time with this machine. Thank you, James Clark, who's organised it all. And well, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Can I move now? Yeah. Did I get all that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, baby.